What's up, everybody? Just gonna wait a while to see if we get some people coming into the room. But tonight, I want to talk about the presidential debate. Did you watch it? Did you find it interesting? Did you learn anything about any of the candidates? No, the title of this is Presidential Debate or Disastrous Distraction. I tend to think of it as being a distraction. Because, politicians are very good at not answering the question directly, but rather they're going to answer the question that they wanted you to ask. That happened a bunch of times last night. They'll ask you a question about one thing. They'll say, all right, but then I'm going to answer it in this way. What's an example? For instance, when they asked Kamala Harris, they asked her about some policies that, or some tariffs that she left in place while she was vice president that Donald Trump put in place. She didn't answer that directly. And it's a good tactic. And one of the things that I noticed, most of the people are speaking about, well, who won the debate? They go back and forth. Well, I think Donald Trump won. Or they'll say, I think Kamala Harris won. And I think that's part of the distraction. They turn it into a game. Well, who won? Who didn't win? And all the while, things stay exactly the same. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they decided to have this presidential debate on September the 10th, the day before 9/11, because they knew on 9/11, instead of thinking about the things that happened on that day in 2001, we'd be focused on the presidential debate and, our side winning. Because as long as they can divide you into either camp, that's part of the game. They either want you to be a Republican or a Democrat. They want you to choose sides. Because as long as you're choosing a side, that shows that you have some type of faith in the system. Hello, thank you for tuning in. What did you think of the debate last night? I'm of the mindset that they play games with us. For the first time the other night, I watched this movie called Enemy of the State. It has Will Smith in it. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go back and watch it. Hello, and you didn't miss out on anything by not watching it. Now, when people watch or they tune into those debates, it makes people, it gives the powers that be the idea that, okay, they're still buying into this. But again, talking about Enemy of the State. So what's trippy about that movie that came out in 1998, and it's about some guys in the NSA trying to get a bill passed that would make it easier to put Americans under surveillance, make it legal for them to do that in the hopes of preventing terrorism. So this movie came out in 1998. They're chasing Will Smith all around because he has a videotape that shows them murdering someone so they can get this bill get this bill passed. Now, what's crazy is that the bad guy in this movie, his birthday is 9/11. So I don't think that's a coincidence that a couple of years later in 2001, we actually have 9/11 happen. And then they passed the Patriot Act, which in turn puts us under a surveillance state. So a movie about them passing a bill to make it legal to put Americans under surveillance. A couple of years later, we get an actual event that happens that allows them to do that. So my mind is if they are willing to do that, if they're willing to pull off an event such as 9/11, then the people that they have running for president, that's just part of the distraction. They give you the illusion of choice. Let's see some of these comments. Eagle eye is a bit of a foreshadowing as well. I'm not sure what eagle eye is. Snoop Dogg, is that you? Nah, it's not Snoop. Um, these people are funny in these comments. Uh, what was I saying? Just a distraction of the elections, giving you the illusion of choice. If you get a chance, you should listen to a man named Dick Gregory. He has a bunch of interviews online. But Dick Gregory ran for president back in the 60s, I believe. And something happened that he said that there was a glitch with the computer system to where they attributed a whole lot of a whole lot of votes going to him that would have had him as the winner. But until they turned the machines off. So Dick Gregory said to himself, that's when he realized, like, oh, okay, so these elections aren't really true elections. He said it's not the person who casts the vote that has the power, but it's the person who counts the votes. Because if you think people who are willing to murder people in order to rule the world, why would they give you a system to where you could vote them out of power? That's not a goal of theirs. Their goal is to keep everything running according to their plan. And one of the ways that they do that, they have to get you or get the people emotionally invested into these presidential elections. Because again, that shows that we still have some type of faith in the system. They don't care who you vote for, they just care that you show up and vote for somebody. Who do you think is really in power then? Well, I think it's much like Star Wars. If you watch the first Star Wars movie, we didn't really meet the Emperor until later on in the series. He was a shadowy figure that we didn't know about. They have this idea called proxy wars, to where I have a problem with somebody, but I'm not going to go and fight them directly. I'm going to pay another group to go and do it. So I think that same tactic is used when it comes to ruling the world. They'll put people out in front of us that they say are in control, but they're not really the ones making the decisions. So the people who have the real power, you probably never even heard of them. They have enough power and influence to keep themselves off of the Forbes list, off of that Illuminati bloodline list that you hear about. So I think it's someone beyond the Rockefellers and the DuPonts and those type of families. Like these people that they put in front of us, they get their marching orders from someone else. Like Bill and Melinda Gates. They know how to keep things a secret when they don't want you to know about it. So if it's out there in the public, that means they probably want you to know about it. It's part of the distraction. But the good thing is, it's a credible time to be alive. I walk around with no worries as far as who's ruling the world. I just like to be able to uncover, just the lies that they're telling and make it make sense to myself. Because they can plan all they want to, but you can't outplan God. God is always in control. You have to operate under the mindset that everything works out in your best favor anyway. And that's how you avoid a lot of the stress that happens in life. They want you to think that they're all powerful, that there's nothing that we can do. But we can literally think these people out of existence. Before you go to sleep at night, try this. As you're drifting off to sleep, I want you to imagine your ideal world and what that would feel like to you. I know that's going to be different for everybody, but just imagine a world where these people who try to um, divide us, keep us fighting wars, imagine a world where those people don't exist. Imagine a world where love is the order of the day. And really hold that feeling in your heart as you're drifting off to sleep. And you'll see things will start to change. Now, it may look like physically or in the forefront that things are getting worse and worse, but that's just God working things out. When you get sick, when your body is going through something, uh, you'll you'll start to feel bad. You'll start having all these symptoms. But that's just showing that your body is actually fighting off the disease. And right now, that's what we have going on. We are fighting off this disease. Let's see. They cloned Tyrone. A choice between cancer or polio. Yeah, that's real. um, and even a movie like They Cloned Tyrone, with them making things so evident and putting that in your face. That's a way of them taking some cosmic karmic debt off of themselves. As well, we showed y'all what we were going to do, and you let us do it. So as long as they show it to you in some form, whether it's entertainment, in their minds, it's like, well, we told you what we were going to do. You didn't do anything about it. That's like a person saying, yo, I'm going to slap you. And if you don't move and I in turn slap you, then hey, that's what happens. Wow, somebody just sent me something. It says, no, if no one has told you before, you have a voice made for ASMR. You have a very grounded perspective, exist outside of the matrix. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Maybe I should get into doing some type of ASMR. Just describing different things. Yeah, that'd be a good way to bring some extra cash in. And that's one of the things to keep in mind. The goal of all of this, for me at least, is to have peace of mind. Because when these people can take away your peace of mind, that's a horrible thing. They're having a control over you that you should only have for yourself. Your true self, your higher self, exists in a state of peace. It's the ego that causes you to bounce back and forth between happiness, sadness, depression, all these different emotions that's outside of peace. The goal is to be in that peaceful state. And one of the things that I noticed, when you get caught up in these elections and who's going to be president, who's not going to be president, no, this side is evil, no, this side is evil, it's pulling you every which way emotionally. I forgot where I heard it, but it's a powerful quote, and it says, "He who angers you controls you." I don't like being mad. I haven't figured out how to use that anger to turn into a Super Saiyan, so it doesn't serve me. So I do what I have to do to keep myself at peace. And I guess that's part of the adventure of being down here, is feeling all of these emotions, going through it. Because even, okay, on a larger note, nothing exists outside of God. You hear this term called Namaste. That means the God in me recognizes the God in you. Everywhere you look, you see God. You exist inside of God. And it's bigger than any box that you can put yourself in or that you can put God in. So if that's the case, what's there to worry about? All this is going to be worked out. I remember playing Resident Evil when it first came out on PlayStation. Resident Evil, being a kid and playing that was like one of those games, like it'll get you tense because it was scary. Until I reminded myself, this is just a video game anyway. Remind yourself of that. This is just the simulation. This is just one level of reality. And when you move beyond this reality, there's more for you to do. You're not stuck down here. So enjoy yourself while you're here. Don't let them steal your peace of mind. I've been reading this book, Chaos, by Tom O'Neill. Just about finished with it. And the things he uncovers in that book, the things that they've been able to pull off, learning how to do mind control, that to me, that shows, okay, if they're willing to do all this type of stuff to us, what else are they willing to do just so they can pretend to have some type of control? The multiverse. It's not an accident we got so many movies back to back about the multiverse. A couple of years ago, you got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and then you had that movie everything, everywhere, all at once. And then you had the CIA releasing documents that say, hey, we kind of discovered that the multiverse is real. Go back and check out Jet Li's movie, The One, where he had all these different versions of him existing in different realities, all having a different experience. And the idea behind that is that this version of you that exists down here, every choice you make, there's an opposite choice for you to make. So when you make those opposite choices, that branches off into like an alternate reality, and all the individuals down here are doing that. And it's my belief that that happens because so when you pass, when you die and you leave this physical form, you're able to say, well, I did everything there was to do as this version of myself. Even there was a point made in Doctor Strange where he said, dreams are you peeking into your multiversal self. It's giving you a glimpse of yourself in a different reality. And I think that's pretty interesting. You know, I've never had a nightmare in my life. Like I've had dreams where it's like, okay, things are starting to go bad, but I've always had enough awareness to be like, all right, it's time to wake up. So I say to myself, wake up, wake up, wake up, and I'll wake myself up. And then I'll go back to sleep. And I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing. Trying to learn how to just be that observer in your dreams and not bring your conscious mind into it. Because I've had some dreams where yo, it was about to go down. Something good was about to happen. But then my mind was like, oh, wait a second, this is a dream. And then I wake up. So then, you know, practice that. Like I said, we could thank these people out of existence, the ones who are trying to do harm to us. Just imagine the world, well, your ideal world as you're going to sleep. I've even started recording myself saying some positive affirmations that I listen to daily, just getting that into my mind. That's something that you can try for yourself. Or when you come back to my channel, I'll tag that on to the end of the video so you can listen to that as well. And these are things just to say to yourself. One of my top ones is, I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. I am a multi-millionaire. I am God, God I am. These are the type of things that you say to yourself, and it puts out an energy, it puts out a vibration that improves your surroundings and improves your life. Let's see, let's read some more. Yep, The One. It is a classic. It's a shame we're not getting as many good movies from Hollywood now because they're just so focused on making money. But yeah, The One was a great one. Also, something I just realized, in 1998, The Truman Show came out as The Truman Show came out as well. And remember, The Truman Show is based on the fact that Jim Carrey's character doesn't realize that he's living in a fake world. He's under constant surveillance. Isn't that interesting? You get Enemy of the State in 1998, and then you get The Truman Show that also came out in 1998 of somebody living in a simulation. And also the note, The Matrix came out shortly after that as well. What are they trying to tell you in these movies? What kind of messages are they trying to put across? If anything, if I can always get you guys to think highly of yourselves and to stay positive, that's a goal of mine. So I tell people when I meet them, yo, you are Neo in the Matrix. You are the one. And maybe I'm like your Morpheus, just pointing you in the right direction. Because something else that Morpheus said, yo, I can show you the door, but you have to be the one to walk through it. So prepare yourselves. Walk through that door with full confidence in knowing what you're able to do, what you're able to accomplish. You are that person. But all right, I didn't want to stay on here too long, you guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Be on the lookout for more videos. I have something coming I'm working on now. It's about James Earl Jones. Peace to the legend, the icon. You know, James Earl Jones has played some roles that are really telling you about yourself. The ones I'm going to talk about in my video, it's going to be him playing Mufasa in The Lion King, Coming to America, him playing King Jafar. Let's see, Star Wars, being the voice of Darth Vader, and his role in The Sandlot. All of these are important roles, but one of the things that they have in common, at least Lion King, Star Wars, and Coming to America, is telling that old Egyptian mythology about Heru, or the superhero, having to redeem his father. It's a basic mythological thing, that story that's told over and over again. That Egyptian mythology, you had a Asar who was betrayed by his brother Set and killed, and then you had to have Heru come back and redeem him. Well, that's the exact story that plays out in The Lion King. Excuse me. You had Mufasa, who was betrayed by his brother Scar, and who had to be redeemed by his son Simba. Same thing, just a different version of it in Coming to America. James Earl Jones is playing the Asar character, or the Asar role, as King Jafar, and his son has to come down and redeem the father. He has to come and have a different experience in America to bring that knowledge back to Zamunda. Very, very interesting stuff. I'll have more details when I make that video. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Ron. I'll check you out in the next episode. Peace.